First of all, I'd like to say to all the French, I'm with you in spirit. Good luck, and I hope no one gets injured. And talking about France, a week today, the 22nd, they are apparently going to close France down. They're going to shut everything as a demonstration against the electric increase of 6% that the evil satanic Macron has imposed on them. We are really at the crunch point now. The rest of this month you're going to see so much going on. Don't worry about it though, because good always wins, and these evil bastards are going to be held to account for their criminal activity, just like in this country. If God made animals for us to eat, why does a plant-based diet reverse the diseases that meat causes? Who are you going to be? A true warrior fights for those who cannot fight for themselves. A really smart warrior finds a way to fight without fists or swords, but with words and truth. Final wake-up call. The global economy is fake, phony and false. The global economy is fake, phony and false. Opinions, not facts. People are being ripped off. What can be done about this destructive economy? Gold-backed currency is the answer. Get rid of the criminals in Parliament is also the answer. The longest economic expansion is nearing its end. The monetary system, welfare system and warmongering elites threaten to destroy today's economy, leaving ordinary people crippled in the subsequent ruins. Debt worldwide is approaching an astounding $40 trillion with no end in sight. The paper fiat money system has run for almost 50 straight years, while the last one lasted only 35 years. Our current monetary system is long overdue to be decimated. People's assets, savings, retirement, in short, everything people have worked for is at risk. The former head of the US Central Bank, Alan Greenspan, put it in frank terms in 1966 and is still valid today. Deficit spending is simply a scheme for the confiscation of wealth. The number of charts, the stories, everything is fake, phony and false. The signals are noticeably all around us. They are unmistakably clear. Unfortunately, people are unaware of the facts and the truth, and they believe in the grand deception. Only those who are awake, that's you lot, know for sure that almost everything that is said about today's economy is fraudulent, incorrect and misleading. The economy is doing great, says the central bank. It's the best economy we've ever had, says Donald Trump. And it's going to get a lot better. None of this is true, nothing at all. Put real interest rates back to up to 5% and the economy would dry up and die in minutes. Take away the fake money and the net worth of America's wealthy families would fall by the trillions. Come the next crisis and the whole economy will fall apart. In short, one of the longest economic expansions in history is nearing its end. Rising homeless numbers prompts outrage and alarm across LA County. Most nights, Jeremiah Ortiz has to shoo away homeless people who sleep and panhandle outside his restaurant, El Salvador in Durante. The men and women living in the parking lot are bad for his business, but as their ranks swell, it has become a fact of life. As has cleaning up broken glass, urine and feces. They don't have a place to put homeless people in this area. I think it's where all the problems start. Local officials, Ortiz said, are just ignoring the people's needs. According to the latest point-in-time count released to Tuesday, the number of homeless people in San Gabriel Valley jumped 17% from 4,282 in 2018 to 5,021 this year. the second largest bump in Los Angeles County. The largest was the West Side in 19%, from 4,401 homeless people in 2018 to 5,223 this year. Both outpaced the overall increase of 12% across the country. Now there are just shy of 59,000 homeless people countrywide. As the cost of living goes up, housing isn't being built fast enough to meet demands. The grim numbers had residents, including homeless residents, outreach workers and frequent critics of city and county politicians all singing the same tune. As I said, we are at the end game. WND, law would let schools diagnose kids' mental health. The only ones need that mental health diagnosing is the politicians. A law is currently being proposed in Texas that would allow schools to identify students as mentally ill. The bill would require schools to set up threat assessment teams to single out students considered a suicide risk and turn them into mental health authorities. Leaders of at least 130 organisations are against the proposed law. It's not a law, of course. Allegedly designed to improve school safety, and has sent a letter to Texas Governor Greg Abbott, warning him of their concerns and requesting he veto the bill. According to John Whitehead, president of the Rutherford Institute, who is a signatory of the letter to Abbott, even the most well-intentioned government law or programme can be, and has been, perverted, corrupted and used to advance illegitimate purposes once profit and power are added to the equation, which is the concern within these schools' safety laws. This programme is part of a nationwide push to empower non-medically trained individuals to identify, label and refer students for treatment who they believe may exhibit suicidal or mental ill behaviour. Worse, these threat assessments, no matter how inaccurate or subjective, could stigmatise a child for the rest of their lives. Other supporters of the letter include Texas Eagle Forum President Tracy Bradford, the Southern Baptist of Texas Lacey Hull of We the Parents Coalition, and Rachel Malone of the Gun Owners of America. It's happening all over the planet at the same time, and it's looking like it's going to be this month. Esther McVey claimed £8,750 in expenses for personal photographer. The Conservative leadership hopeful Esther McVey has spent thousands of the taxpayers' money claiming for a personal photographer on expenses. The MP has submitted claims worth £8,750 for the services of the photographer and PR man Jonathan Farber in just 2 years, according to an analysis of data held by the expenses watchdog. McVey, whose website is adorned with photographs of herself, hired Faber, an ex-Tory councillor in her constituency in Cheshire. One recipient obtained using Freedom of Information laws from May 2018 shows that Faber invoiced McVey £750 for 5 hours work for 2 shots, including edits, image processing and travel time. Hospital to ban bacon. A new health push may eliminate many people's favourite dish from the UK hospital cafeterias. This ban includes recipes with sausage, mash, bacon and all processed meat. Well, that's good. The mash, don't see why they would want to include that there. Plant-based health professional at UK Limited, an association created by medical professionals, worry about the harm posed by these foods, particularly about the cancer risk from consuming processed meat. The group states that hospitals should promote healthy diets. The NHS spending millions treating cancer, heart disease and type 2 diabetes, says founder Dr. Shireen Kassam. Why serve food that can cause life-threatening conditions? Hospitals will argue healthier options are available, but there's no safe limit with the processed meat. The health group launched a Give Bacon the Boot campaign, where they petition the elimination of processed meats from hospital food vendors. The members urge the public to write to MPs and local hospitals about the issue. Anaesthetist Dr. Charlotte Hultram supports the cause. Bacon is the same category as asbestos as far as its potential to cause cancer. The International Agency for Research and Cancer had previously classified processed meat as a carcinogen, a substance capable of causing cancer. What classified as processed meat? The term refers to meat transformed through salting, fermenting, curing, smoking or other process to enhance flavour or improve its preservation. Examples include bacon, hot dogs, and if you want to read the rest of it, links are in the description. Tories for 230 million sold on to Chinese for 820 million. In 2013, the hapless Tories sold off NHS plasma supplies to US private equity firm Bain Capital for 230 million. NHS plasma supplies has now been sold on to Chinese firm for 820 million. The NHS is not safe in Tory hands. It's not safe in any government hands. In 2013, the Tories sold off the state-owned NHS blood plasma supplier Plasma Resources UK to US private equity firm Bain Capital for 230 million. It's now been revealed that the US firm has sold on the NHS plasma supply company, who renamed Bioproducts Laboratory, to Chinese state-owned firm Great for 830 million, which means the hapless Tories have managed to cost the UK taxpayer 590 million, while at the same time ensuring essential supplies of plasma to UK patients are now in the hands of the Chinese government. But of course the NHS is safe in Theresa May's hands. It's not safe in any government's hands. They're all crooks. And of course, crook is the acronym for Cancer Research UK. UK Home Secretary Javid signs order to extradite Assange to US. This is criminal. This is absolutely criminal by that. This morning, UK Home Secretary has Javid signed the extradition order that could send WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange to the United States to stand trial for 18 indictments, including espionage. Home Secretary Javid insists he is justified in the decision to render Assange to the US, still claiming that "I want to see justice done." Lying wanker. Taking what appears to be a tough stance on award-winning journalist Assange, it should also be noted that Javid is also running for the Tory leadership, where MPs also voted on the next Prime Minister today. Assange will face the courts again. Yeah, well, it's a typo, I guess. Tomorrow for an extradition hearing, which has been moved from the courthouse at Belmarsh Prison to a hearing at 9 AM at London's Westminster Magistrates Court in central London. The crookedness is so in your face now. If you pretend you can't see it, maybe you deserve what's coming. Not you lot, the rest of the sleeping brothers and sisters. New round of tests find breakfast cereal still full of glyphosate, says EWG. Many bestsellers in the cereal aisle continue to have trace amounts of the weed killer glyphosate, according to a new report published Wednesday by the Environment Working Group. The herbicide was detected in 21 oat-based products. All but 4 of them contained levels of glyphosate higher than the EWG scientists deemed safe for children. This is the third round of glyphosate tests by EWG, which receives funding from organic food companies, according to its own disclosures. The new round confirms its findings from the first 2 tests in August and October last year. Tests of 94 samples of oat-based foods found glyphosate in all but 2 samples, with 74 samples at level of glyphosate above EWG's health benchmark. As usual, links in description if you want to read the rest. Kirkby takeaway owner plans to extend free food for homeless offer into daily scheme. How many people are homeless? There is no official figure for how many people are homeless across the UK. However, government street counts and estimates can give an indication of the nation's situation. Latest figures show that 4,751 people slept rough across England on any given night in 2017, a 15% increase compared to the previous year and more than double the amount in 2010. A generous Kirkby takeaway owner who is offering free food for the homeless once a week wants to turn it into a daily scheme. You see, we are good. Governments are evil. Terrorists. Leaked email mentioned aspartame causing holes in the brain. This article is shared with permission from our friends at Real Pharmacy. WikiLeaks has released a John Podesta email that sheds light on the artificial sweetener aspartame that is anything but sweet. Besides pointing out how generally dangerous NutraSweet is, the leaked email also shows the treachery involved in getting the adulterant approved as a food ingredient. According to Wise Mind Healthy Body, an email chain was forwarded to Podesta by Wendy Abrams, in which she writes, "I also have a friend who worked for the researchers at University of Chicago, which has a top-rated neurology department, and the doctors there said they gave NutraSweet to lab mice. It literally blew holes in their brains. They said they will tell the pregnant woman to drink any amount of alcohol before touching a sip of NutraSweet. It is that bad." Why gaslight narcissists create fake crises to solve them. Stephanie Sarkis, a PhD therapist who has written a book on the phenomenon of gaslighting, has an article in Forbes about Trump's pattern of inventing non-existent crisis, doing nothing of any substance to fix the alleged problem, and then declaring himself to have saved us all from bogeymen he invented. She also talks a stab at explaining why he and others like him do this. The secret of demagogue is to make himself as stupid as his audience so they believe they are clever as he. Gaslight narcissists create an enemy and crisis, then solve that same crisis. They then demand accolades after that crisis that they created has been resolved. Why do you think this? It creates support within their base, and with 2020 elections right around the corner, Trump knows the importance of manufacturing an enemy and then portraying himself as the only one who could conquer this manufactured enemy. The most recent case in point is Trump's tariffs on Mexico. Trump is touting himself as the key factor in getting a border agreement with Mexico. However, the New York Times reported that the US and Mexico had reached an agreement on a border policies months before Trump tariff threatened. She points to the several other examples as well, blaming immigrants for violent crime when the reality is that they commit far less crime than native-born Americans, blaming lack of border control causing the drug epidemic when the vast majority of drugs enter the country at legal checkpoints and are smuggled in by the CIA. The crisis of patriotism for NFL players kneeling on the national anthem. She leaves out the one really obvious one, North Korea. Nothing substantive had changed in North Korea on their pursuit of nuclear weapons in many years, but when Trump took office, he tried to turn this into some overwhelming new threat to the country. Then he held a summit that ended with an agreement that did absolutely nothing and declared that all Americans could sleep easier now that he had solved this crisis. One thing she doesn't mention is the relationship between this behaviour and demagoguery. Yeah, however you say it. Which I think is quite obvious. Threats have to be vastly exaggerated, unjustified, fear must be induced to create a narrative of being a saviour. I'm reminded of the line from the movie The American President when Michael Douglas says, "Whatever your problem is, I can promise you that Bob Rumson has no interest in solving it, but Bob Rumson is interested in two things and two things only, making you afraid of it and telling you who's to blame for it." That, ladies and gentlemen, is how you win elections, and so it is, because humans are prone to panic and react far more strongly to fear and hatred than to evidence and reason. Gardasil vaccine on trial. Attorney John F. Kennedy Jr. exposes Merck corruption. JFK Jr. Gardasil, the science video and other facts. So links in the description if you want to see the video. John F. Kennedy Jr., many of the things I'm going to say today would be slanderous if they weren't true. And if they are not true, then Merck should sue me. But Merck won't do that, and they won't do that business in the United States. Truth is absolute defense against slander. videos in the links if you want to watch them. Fluoride, officially classed as a neurotoxin. I wonder why they're putting it in our water. Oh, it's to help our teeth. Yeah, they need to put a neurotoxin in the water to help it. Yeah. The movement to remove industrial sodium fluoride from the world's piped water supply has been growing in recent years, with damning evidence on negative health effects of fluoridated water coming from several sources. Now, a report from the world's oldest and most prestigious medical journal, The Lancet, has officially classified fluoride as a neurotoxin, known to cause developmental neurotoxicity in human beings, in the same category as arsenic, lead, mercury, toluene, DDT and PCBs. In the Lancet report, the authors propose a global prevention strategy, saying that untested chemicals should not be presumed to be safe to brain development, and chemicals in existing use and all new chemicals must therefore be tested for developmental neurotoxicity. Telegraph. Tories want members to Crown Boris unopened. Ministers plot to ensure Johnson is only name on ballot to avoid blue on blue battle. Lily, I used artifact face to hide my demons. Maths A-level leaked for third year in row. Drivers with anxiety enabled for blue parking badge. Blood donors see red over online booking system to confiscate, confusing to use. Aye. Tory content could turn toxic, rivals warn Johnson. Conservative Party should avoid psychodrama of Gove and Johnson runoff. Javid's team argues. There are 6 candidates left. 5 of them went to Oxford. Is that really what the party wants? Former Foreign Secretary rivals turn fire on each other this weekend. And let's not forget, Johnson went to Eton and was in the Bullingdon Club. Blue badge parking revelation revealed. England thrash West Indies. Forget grammar, let kids enjoy reading. Yeah. From experienced hater to swimming evangelist. Have you hit the age of irrelevance? Jumbo cross. The Times. Legal right to clean air. Downing Street hopefuls back Times campaign and vow laws in First Queen's speech. A breach too far. The helicopter thing. Express. I will fight Parkinson's with every breath I have. 32,000 Daily Express readers signed petition as BBC legend Esther Ranson insists new PM must save free TV licences. They're shitting themselves because they know the general population has had enough of the corruption, and this is probably the final straw that's going to break the camel's back and hopefully drag all them corrupt bastards out of Parliament. The Guardian. Homophobic hate crime doubles over 5 years. Johnson snubs Tory leadership TV debate. Daily Fail. Now 5 dead in hospital sandwich scandal. Health Secretary orders urgent NHS food review as Listeria claims 2 more lives. Robbie barred from OBE over tax scheme. Mirror. My kids wish I wasn't Madonna. They probably also wish you weren't a Satanist, Luciferian Illuminati. But yeah, what are you going to do? Toddlers donor joy. Thanks for my new heart. Life-saving gift for little Oscar Delight's family. The Scum. Exclusive interview. Photo app uses slaves. Star fears for daughter. Madonna war on Instagram. Yeah. Waste of paper. Agony for Cinnamon. Chase star. I've got Parkinson's, age just 49. FT. BOE raise alert over aggressive new lenders. Challenge bank models scrutinised. Stress tests carried out on 20 groups. Grassroots giant biodegradable Paris artwork highlights the migrant crisis. Hancock hints at backing for Johnson as rivals jostled in race to be Chancellor. Capital's role at Tech Hub at risk from messy Brexit. And finally, good men and bad men differ radically. Bad men never appreciate kindness shown to them, but wise men appreciate and are grateful. I know you lot are the good. We know who the bad are. Now's the time to take action and get rid of them once and for all, before they get rid of us with the chemtrails, the fluoride in the water, the poison in the food. It's time. The time for action is now. No longer time for sitting on the fence or just sitting and knowing what's going on and doing nothing. The time for action is now.